class is called A Little Bit of Everything. So it's just to bring us back into our pop-up yoga classes again. So starting in Shavasana, we're starting with the fourth limb of yoga this morning with our pranayama breathing. So if you're comfortable in Shavasana, it's fine. If not, bring your knees up, maybe put them together. Sometimes that's quite nice if it's your lower back you're feeling. But try and open your body as much as you can and try and settle yourself down into the mat. And then just listen to your breathing now that you've got down. Might be a little bit ragged because you've just moved to lie down. So just listen to your breathing, see what it's doing, and then just gently start to control the breath. So elongating and deepening the breath, just slowly, not forcing it. It doesn't need to go too deep straight away or too extended straight away. Just drawing the breath in and then letting it go and letting yourself go into the mat. And then we're going to start to take up a count on the breath. So it's your count of 4 in and out for 2 or 3 breaths. So just find your own length there, but try and just make it a little bit longer so that you're actually controlling the breath and it's not your normal voluntary breath. So in sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then exhaling for the same. And as you're doing that, as you're extending your breath, you'll find you're having to fill your body a little bit more and probably having to move that diaphragm muscle across the bottom of your ribs a bit more. That's your breathing muscle, and it's obviously the one that's most important in this action. So see if you can feel it expanding at the bottom of your ribs as you inhale and then drawing it upwards and under your ribs kind of to exhale. And then when you're ready, if you want to, you can inhale for 4, pause for 2, holding the inhale, and then exhale for 4. So inhale for 4, and not necessarily at my timing, so you might be on your exhale at the moment, but it's inhale for 4, pause for 2, exhale for 4. So we're not all breathing at the same rate here because our counting's probably slightly out. So you don't have to inhale when I say and exhale when I say. Just do it at your own pace. And then changing that up if you're using the pause. If you're not, just keep inhaling, exhaling. But if you want to use the pause, inhale and then exhale, and then pause for 2 at the end of the exhale this time. So notice when you do this, if you are using the pause, which one you prefer. I know I prefer the exhale pause. The inhale pause has got that feeling of explosion about to happen sometimes for me. So the exhale pause is a real letting go feeling and emptying. So inhale for 4, exhale for 4, pause for 2. Do 1 or 2 more of those. And then we're going to change it up again. So I'm going quite quickly because I want to get through a lot this morning. So sorry about this. But don't be hyperventilating on me. The next one we're going to change up, and we're going to inhale for 4 and then exhale for 6. So this is the last group of breaths. So inhale for 4, nice slow 4, deepening it down through to your diaphragm, and then exhaling and really letting the breath trickle out almost to extend that exhale. And as you do that, you're switching on your parasympathetic nervous system, remember here, by switching on more on the exhale. So we're letting go, we're going into more of a relaxation mode. You're letting it all out, basically. So use that breath now, the exhale here, inhaling for 4, exhaling for 6 still. You can sigh out through your mouth if it feels better, but see if you can just expel everything on that exhale. So not just the breath, the physical holding, the mental disruption that you've been having maybe in your life, or the emotional entanglements, whatever you've got that's in there that you're needing to get out. Use that breath, inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 6. Gentle exhale. Don't push it out, but take a long time in letting it go. So we've used pranayama. Just do a couple more, sighing the breath out, maybe through your mouth, and then let your breath settle back to your normal automatic breath, or automotive breath. So pranayama is our 4th limb, remember. Breathing is where it all starts really to come together in yoga. The first 3 are obviously important, the 3 limbs on the tree, but the 3rd one is our postures. So we're going to go into them in a second. But the pranayama is what brings it all together, in my opinion, anyway. So we're going to start moving. So just sweep your arms up above your head and have a big stretch out now. Lengthen your legs out if you've had them folded. Big stretch, maybe right side, left side. Opening up under the armpits, down the side of the body. Spreading out the fingers, maybe wiggling the toes. And then sweep your arms round an angel's wing flat down to your sides. And then bring your feet in flat to the floor. We're going to do windscreen wipers, so you know where to put your feet, kind of the width of the mat, knees bent. When you're ready, just gentle sways, just very small movements to start, but just starting to move and warm up through the hips. While you're doing this, just gently swaying. Take your mind at the same time back up to your shoulders. And see if you can feel anything in there from that stretch that you've just done. Small movement, but it leaves a shadow of it. Okay, maybe your legs are getting a little bit more sway now. Now that your hips know what you're doing, your legs are moving a little bit more because your body's ready to take the weight of them falling from side to side. Just warming up. Maybe you can feel it moving up through your tummy muscles if you go a little bit further, up through your side of your stomach, up through your waist area maybe. Also through your feet, if you can feel it rolling through the bottom of your foot from side to side. And then come to a standstill. Bring the knees in one at a time to your chest. Put your hands on your knees and take a few circles. Whichever way you start, we'll do the other way, it doesn't matter. So circling through the knees, through the hips, or using the knees rather, to stir that pot. So the feet are just dangling. There's nothing really holding on here. It's just thinking of using your hands and your kneecaps to move the big joint in your hips here. And then take it in the other direction. And as you go in the other direction, see if you can go a little bit wider in these circles and feel the movement then stirring your shoulder girdle as well. Warming up both your hips and your shoulders in this movement. And maybe you can feel your spine starting to come into that movement as well. A little bit of rocking through your spine. Bit of a rock and roll. So come to a standstill when you're ready. And then just take that rock from side to side across the back of your spine. So holding onto your knees or behind your thighs, just rock from side to side gently across your spine. And then bring your feet to the floor one at a time. Stretch the legs away again. Have a little stretch out. And then moving over slowly onto your side and coming up onto your front and come into Balasana, child's pose when you're ready. So not wide leg here. Take your knees are sort of hip distance apart. If your head's not quite hitting the floor, don't worry. We're going to be moving from right to left anyway. So facing your head downwards though, and finding that long back and neck if you can't, and tucking your chin to control and hold the weight of your head. So having a stretch out center here, first of all. So reaching out through your armpits, maybe you'll feel it, lifting your chest forward a little bit, but at the same time, drawing down on your tailbone. So just gently opening up the spine here through the space, through the vertebrae. And then walking over to your right hand side. So gently moving with that spinal extension there already. You've got more room to move between the vertebrae then. You've gone over to the right and you've got a nice long left side body feeling now. So rather than just extending at the hand, take your mind down to your back left hip. Your back left hip, you've only got one hip. So your back hip, your left hip rather, and try and sink that hip back down towards your left heel. So you should then feel a little bit more opening up the side of that body, particularly at the lower end, around the part below your waist. And then walking back to centre. Stretching out again in neutral here. So thinking of moving through your crown, through your chest, draw it forward between your arms and take your tailbone back a little bit. Only tiny movements, but you're giving a little bit more space there to your vertebrae to move. So now we're going to walk over with that extended spine over to your left-hand side. And again, although you want to stretch with that right hand, that's okay. But think of moving that movement right down your right side body and letting that right hip become heavy again and down towards your right heel. So we tend to stretch the upper body when we do these movements, and it does move more the upper body. The upper spine moves much more in a lateral extension, but the lower spine is more difficult to get a little bit of movement in. But if you sink your tailbone there, walk back to centre, then you'll just feel that extension from the waist down a little bit more. Okay, so then slowly coming up then to neutral spine in all fours, ready for cat-cow, which we like to fit into every class. Find that neutral spine again. So again, think of your tailbone going slightly backwards. It's a minute movement. Draw your tummy up to support your lower back so you're not dumping here. And then see if you can just move your heart forward slightly between your hands. A little bit more. Tiny movements. Extend through your crown so your neck feels a little bit longer, and tuck that chin to hold the weight to the head. So neutral spine, but an extended neutral spine here we've got. And then think of the cat-cow. So we're breathing in neutral. And then as you exhale, you're tipping the tailbone and rolling up through the vertebrae that are nice and spacious, hopefully, particularly now on the back of you as you come into cat. Sorry, that should have been an exhale. Gone the wrong way with the breath. Doesn't really matter. It's whatever breath works for you. And then rolling back through from the tailbone and coming into cow. Come back into neutral if you've got muddled up with the breath, and do it the way you feel best. So normally we would inhale into cow, exhale into cat. I started in the wrong breath, but really it doesn't matter in this one particularly. As you're rolling into cat, just continue, but as you roll into cat next time, think of that pelvic tilt. So as you tuck your tailbone, think of drawing up your pubic bone and pelvis towards your tummy button. Really feeling and extending that lower spine a little bit more. As I say, that part of us really doesn't move much. So on the cow, we're going to think about moving through the shoulders a little bit more. So next time you come into cow, you're tipping at the tailbone up the way. You're rolling through again in the lower half of the spine, but then think of moving that heart forward between your arms and really contracting the back of the body. So really enjoy your cat-cow. Everybody goes into this and rolls through it quickly, one way and the other. But actually, if you do it really slowly, you get a lot more feedback from it and a lot more out of it. Okay, so coming back into neutral spine. So that's been a bit of a spinal flow there. If you need to do any rolling about in this, then before we move again, feel free to just rock hips or anything. Okay, so then tuck the toes and we're coming up into down dog. So rolling up, just gently, gentle down dog, very bent knees if you need to. It's a spine we want to be nice and long here. The legs don't matter. The feet don't matter. Don't feel at this point you need to extend too much. So just hanging out in down dog. So let the head hang. The head doesn't need to be in line with the spine here. It can just hang down. But think from the shoulders. So from there, your spine to the tailbone, think of lengthening by taking that tailbone just minutely away from you again. Drawing your heart maybe a little bit backwards so that it engages the back of your shoulder blades. And really feeling that you've got that nice long spine. But again, let your head go down gently and then maybe give it a little no-no shake. So this is an inversion. If anybody ever feels dizzy, you know to come back down to your knees. We're going to walk the feet into the hands here. And slowly, baby steps, knees still bent. Come into your forward fold. And we're still in inversion. So again, if you're feeling dizzy, open your eyes for certain, but take yourself down to the floor or gently stand up. But otherwise, if you can, come with me, just folding your arms at the elbow, holding onto your elbows in the square shape of your arms. Then we're in ragdoll. Again, knees are still bent. You can have the belly resting on the thighs here. But think of the spine. So we're rolling that spine opening and using gravity here to open up between the vertebrae. Can you feel it all sliding open along your back? Your tailbone, you want to just sit it down a little bit more. If you can, go take your thighs, take your belly onto your thighs. Feel free to do that. But think of rolling the spine forward again, but sinking the tailbone back. So get as much space on the back of your body as you can. And then we are going to come up. So pop your hands to the floor first of all. Open the eyes. Roll the eyes forward to the front of your mat. Just get yourself engaged again with where you are. Maybe have a wiggle of your toes if you're feeling a little bit like you're not ready to come up. But when you're ready, you can roll up or sweep up, whichever you feel you want to. Rolling will help you ease it out of that inversion much easier. Sweeping will just bring you up a little bit faster, but it doesn't need to be fast, please. Hands to heart center, bring your hands down through to your heart. Okay, so spine. The spine is a lot to do with yoga. Obviously, that's all the movements that we do. So we're just going to move in a couple of more spinal movements here. So just thinking into Tadasana, we're just opening up our arms above our head, but keep your shoulders down. So keep this connection from shoulders to hips. So draw the arms up above the head and then hold the hands there just for a second and think about now, rather than your shoulders going up like this, keep your shoulders down attached to your hips. But think of drawing your elbows in a little bit closer to your head if you can. And then think about that long neck. So if you can lift your head up a little bit out of your shoulders, think of that. Don't draw the shoulders up, draw the shoulders down and the head up. And then think of your tailbone. So can you tuck your tailbone under that little pelvic tilt again? So you're dropping your tailbone and then lifting your whole body up by using your feet to press into and extend through that spine. Really make yourself as tall as you can. Think of drawing the elbows in, but keep those shoulders down. And then release the arms gently, turn the palms, move them downwards, down to your sides. Have a little shake out. You should feel a centimetre taller now, hopefully. So keeping that in mind, this long spinal extension, engaging with this lateral extension now. So right arm comes up. Feet are hip distance or a little bit wider apart here if you want to. Just move your feet. Right arm is up. As you exhale now, so inhale here with your arm up. Exhale, we're taking a side bend. So we're rolling over to the left. Letting that left arm just trail down a little bit, or it can be at your waist, whichever. Bring yourself back up on an inhale and release that arm down. So do that again on the left side. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale over gently to the right. Arm goes down the leg or it stays at your waist, your right arm. Back up on the inhale and release that arm down. Okay, so we're going to do that, but we're going to think beforehand of extending that spine and see if you can feel the difference. So think of pushing into your feet first of all, lifting up through, tucking the tummy and dropping that tail a little bit. Excuse me. Drawing the heart up and open. Lifting up then through the crown and then engaging with that long feeling in the spine. Draw your right arm up as you inhale, lift up a little bit more and then go over to your left hand side and just hold there for a couple of breaths. So push again gently into your right foot and really feel that extension through the right hand side. But at the same time, connect to your left hand side and see if you can draw that left shoulder down to your left hip. Really feeling a contraction in the left hand side. Watch what's happening. I can feel my tummy sticking out. This is why I'm saying this. Draw the tummy in and tuck that tailbone under. Take the right elbow above your head, back a little bit if you can. And then just see if you can push into your right foot one more time, lift up, contract on the left, and see if you can just go a little bit further with that lateral extension to your left-hand side. The breath may have gone now, don't worry too much, but when you're ready, find your inhale and use that to lift yourself back up to the top and release that arm down. So lots of nice big stretches this morning. Let's do that on the other side. First of all, engage with the extension feeling in your spine. So using your feet, tucking your tail, tucking your tummy, lifting your heart, closing that space between your shoulder blades, maybe a little bit in the back, tucking the chin and lifting up through the back of the neck and up through the crown. When you're ready, inhaling then the left arm up, exhaling over to your right. So remember, it's armpit to hip here. It's not flopping over to the side. So armpit to hip on your right hand side here. Staying over, just breathing naturally for the moment. Just let your breath be, but think about the movements. So think about your left foot, see if you can get a little bit more from that. Think about that left elbow. Maybe you can draw it back a little bit and open up, and then maybe you can reach a little bit more with the left hand. On the other side, think of contracting armpit to hip on that side. So you might have to draw your left hip back a little bit towards the left to get that contraction in a little bit more on the right hand side. So lefts and rights, but I'm getting them right this morning for a change. When you're ready, inhaling back up to the top and exhaling down. Have a little shake out of your arms. So we've done lateral extension. Let's do a bit of a back bend here. You might want to bring your feet in a little bit closer to hip distance apart if they were wider. And just inhaling the arms up above the head, dropping the shoulders down, tucking that tailbone, tucking the belly, lifting the heart slightly, tucking the chin, because you don't want to throw your head back here. When you feel you can lift up through from your feet up through your crown, you've got the extension then, and then we're just going to roll into a little bit of a back bend. So inhale through that extension, draw up through the vertebrae, and then exhale and roll your heart forward a little bit. Doesn't need to be a big movement. Don't need to throw your hands backwards. Watch your tummy doesn't go forward. Holding here, just gently pushing into the feet, lifting up through the spine, opening up through the heart. Maybe you want to just gently drop the hands down, but stay in this back bend. So drop the hands down to your side and just keep that back bend with your arms at your side. If they're getting a bit heavy, you can keep them up if you want to. But low, lifting up through the heart, through the feet. And then rolling slowly. So slowly we're rolling from the bottom of the spine like we did in our cat-cow and moving back up to neutral spine again and have a little shake out. So next one, we're just going to put in a twist. So we're going to take a side bend twist as we did. If your arms are getting heavy, you can do this with your hands at your side if you're finding this hard on your shoulders. But otherwise, inhaling your right arm up. Exhaling, contracting armpit to hip, lifting through your right foot at the same time. So you're into your side bend to the left. Hand can be at the waist, remember. And then we're just going to lift up again on the inhale. As you exhale, take that top elbow back and roll round through your upper chest to look up to the right hand corner. And you're into an unusual twist, but you are in a twist in the spine here. So take a couple of breaths here, thinking of pushing through your feet slightly again to lift. And here the contraction's a little bit more difficult to find. Where can you find it? Can you find it in that space between your shoulder blades? Can that move you around a little bit more? Is it your elbow that you're using as your steering wheel here? Use your elbow gently to move yourself back a little bit more. See if you can maybe, you're in a slight back bend here, remember? So you've got a bit of a twist and a back bend going on. Two movements in the spine and the extension. And then come back to the front, slowly, slowly, slowly screw yourself there. Hands come back down to the side, have a little shake. We'll go to the other side. Extend, first of all, remember. Over to the side in your lateral extension. So armpit to hip on the right hand side. Inhale here, and then as you exhale, rolling through from the upper spine, moving round into that twist. So let it go right down through to your feet, this twist though. Don't try and hold it at any point. Don't try and stop a twist anywhere in your spine. It's not good for you. So let the movement come right down through to where it wants to go. I can feel it moving into my feet. Don't worry about engaging the feet too much at this moment. And then rolling back slowly and letting that arm come down. Caroline should have been here. That's a really good one for golfers. Sarah, I hope you're listening. Okay, so we're going to just now come to a quick sun sal, but a very easy one, because we're going to get this is part of what we do to get everything moving. So it's going to be a very short, easy one, just one quick round, but it'll get our body flowing a little bit more. So when you're ready, we're going to do this on the breath as much as we can. We won't be doing plank or cobra. We're just doing low lunge and down dog. So it's quite an easy one, but try and do it on the breath with me if you can. So at the front of the mat, when you're ready, we're going to go with this. Inhale, arms up above the head. Find that extension. Exhale, soften down through your knees and roll into your forward fold. Just the way you want to go this morning. Inhale, you're coming into your half fold. So using your hands to reach out through your legs might extend a bit more, your neck extends. Exhaling, back down into forward fold. Step back with your right foot then into low lunge. Drop that back knee wherever you want it. Doesn't need to be very extended. When you're ready, inhaling, taking the arms up above the head. Into an extension. Or you can go into a back bend if you want a little bit more extension there. And then coming down, back down by the foot. Stepping back with the front foot as you inhale into your down dog. Exhale there. And then we're going to take the right foot up into split dog as you inhale. And then step through into your low lunge on the other side. Now, if that's too much, remember you can go down to tabletop and bring your leg forward. You don't need to do the split dog. Okay, so we're now, I'm going to do this again on the breath properly in a minute once we've done it. Okay, so we're now in low lunge with the right foot forward. Okay. When you're ready, we're going back to the inhale. Inhale, take the arms up above the head. Exhale, the arms come down beside the feet. And we gently just uncurl the toes. Step forward and you're back into your forward fold. Go back into that half fold again then as you inhale. So open up through the spine again, through to the crown from the tailbone. Exhale, curl up again, back into forward fold. Might be a little bit more open now. When you're ready, open the eyes, remember. Sweep up gently, using the strength of your legs to lift you back up to Utthita. Hands above the head, and then back into Tadasana. Okay, let's do that on the breath this time. So when we go into tabletop, as I say, if you want to drop down and do an extra movement through all fours to bring your leg forward into your second low lunge, then please feel free to do that. You'll be a little bit behind us, but we'll wait. Okay, so when you're ready, inhale, front of the mat. Exhale, lower into forward fold. Might be a bit more open. Inhale into half fold. Exhale into forward fold. Step back with the left foot this time. Come into your low lunge. Next inhale, we're sweeping the arms up. On the exhale, we're slowly moving them back down by the front foot. On the next inhale, you're coming into down dog, so stepping back. On the next inhale, you're taking your left foot up into split dog, or you're moving down into all fours. You're stepping through to the other side of your low lunge on your inhale. Exhale there. Inhale, take your arms up above your head. Exhale, the arms come down beside the front foot. Next inhale, you step forward into forward fold. Take it into half fold on the next inhale. Back into forward fold as you exhale. And when you're ready, inhaling, slowly sweeping up, gathering all that energy into Anjali Mudra at the top and sweep your, take your arms down, through to your heart center. So hopefully that's got the juices flowing there. So we're not going to do any more rounds of that one this morning, but that's a very simple one to get the body going in the morning, and you can hopefully remember it. It's quite easy to remember, and do it in your own way. It doesn't matter if you do it on your breath rather than mine. I probably did it a little bit fast there for everybody, so apologies. Okay, so next one we're going into is balancing, which we do, and this is all more about movement, and then stillness in it is my thing. These asanas are about being still in that balance without putting too much effort into it. It's all sthira sukha stuff. It's all effort and ease. So going into tree, first of all, on your right hand leg is, your left hand leg is your standing leg. So draw that hip in. Remember, this is your standing leg. This is the important leg in tree. Come into your tree by lifting your knee maybe, and then remembering to turn your knee out before you place your foot either on the floor or on your calf, or if you want to go right up to your thigh, then please do so. But this leg doesn't matter. It's about the standing leg, remember. So draw that one in towards the center. And then arms can either be in Anjali Mudra or they can be in your full tree pose. And then just find stillness in your tree for a moment. So you might be wobbling and you might be falling over even. If you are, take your foot down. Your toe on your right hand side can just hold you that little bit more. And another little root just to hold you. You're still having to balance if you just put your big toe on the floor. If you're really finding it difficult, use a wall or a chair or something until you gain that stability. But otherwise, just holding here and breathing. You find a focal point, remember, when you're balancing. So if you look at something that's moving, you're going to move with it because your eyes will take you in that direction. So find something just to focus on. I wouldn't suggest closing your eyes, but you can try it if you want to, if you're feeling really up for it this morning. And then we're going to step back with that right foot. Draw the hands down, first of all. Step back with the right foot and find warrior one foot. So, too near the wall. I'll do it this way, okay? Warrior one. So my right foot's gone back. Think of that long edge of that back foot. That's very important in these poses. My old teacher used to stand on my back foot to roll that foot out. So imagine somebody's rolling that back foot out for you and really switching on that back leg. And then rotate your ribs, remember, to the front and bring yourself into a slightly bent leg at the front. And our hands can be in Anjali Mudra again if you want to, or you can lift your hands up slowly on an inhale and find that pose. So the poses are what everybody thinks the classes are all about. You have to do them, it's part of the practice. But the poses are the physical aspect that links your body to what you're doing in yoga. It's part of the start of, I'm just breathing here by the way, it's part of the start of moving towards meditation. So if you can stay here and reach back with that back foot and reach your shoulder blades, draw them together, draw your tummy in, move your heart forward, do all the little cues that I give you. Start to think about where your ribs are, have you twisted slightly? You're drawing inwards, you're drawing away from the outside world by concentrating on the alignment of your body. And that's a start. Concentration comes before meditation. Okay, so drawing those hands down or if they're in Anjali Mudra, you're taking them slowly behind, gently, don't say gently. I've got a teacher that says nothing but gently at the moment. Bring your hands behind you, clasp your hands. They can just stay rested on your bottom here, or you can lift them up when we get down, but decide what you want. We're going into humble warrior. So humble warrior, think of that back foot. Really move onto the back edge of that back foot. But then think of the extension of the spine. So your tailbone, where your hands are sitting, really push that downwards, kind of sink into that tailbone. But then think of expanding up through the spine to your crown and moving your body forward. So you're leaning forward. If you want your hands forward on your thighs for this, please do that. If you don't feel comfortable just taking your body weight forward. But humble warrior reaches out, first of all, through the crown. And you are supposed to put your body down the side of your leg, but you can lean your belly on your thigh if you want to cheat a little bit here. Hands can be still in Anjali Mudra. They can be resting on your leg, or they can be behind you. For those of you that have found this a little bit easier, then move your head forward and then roll through your spine so that your head comes to reach down towards the floor. Your crown's now in that position of the humble warrior. So your crown is facing forward, and your hands can then go up if you want to. But they can stay reaching backwards if you feel your shoulders don't like that. So finding this position is much more bringing you into yourself, isn't it? I mean, if your eyes are now open, that's okay. But if you can close them in this position and find the balance and think of what's going on in your body, switch the world off a little bit. Quite an intense pose. So to come up from this, you're going to reach through that back foot again. You can unclasp your hands. You can use your hands on your thighs if you really need to. Push yourself back up to standing and then step forward back to the front. So quite intense, all those poses. Let's do that on the other side quickly again, and then we'll go down to the floor to finish. But this is us starting to really focus on what's going on inside us. Moving into your tree on the left-hand side. Remember to turn that leg out. Use your toe if you need to, but kick this hip in. So you want a nice straight line down that right-hand side this time. Hands to Anjali Mudra or above your head if you want. Grow that tree. Think of your spine being the trunk. Up through your leg from your foot, so just grow as much as you can through your trunk and breathe, and then settle in it as much as you can for 2 or 3 breaths. All the wobbling going on and a little bit of movement. 2 sides will never be the same, and a tip for this is sometimes to come off your mat and stand on a hard floor if you're finding you wobble a lot. Carpets are more difficult, to be honest. And then bringing your hands down, stepping back with that left foot this time, coming into warrior one. So find your warrior one. Do the little cues yourself without me saying them this time. Breathing in, finding Anjali Mudra or arms above the head. Finding your warrior one, but sticking with it by, at the same time, just making little adjustments if you need to. And find your breath. Are you clawing your toes like I was? That means that my back foot's not working as well as it should. And then humble warrior again. Take your arms behind your back if you want to. Forward into Anjali Mudra on your thighs. Reach through the spine. From that back foot, really propel your spine forward. Reaching through. And then rolling down. And taking the head downwards. If you don't like the head roll, then stay just stretched out. And let your body rest a little bit in that front thigh. If you want to go further, then take your body round the edge of that front thigh. So your shoulders now down the side of your knee. And then let your head hang. And then maybe you can take your arms up above. Some of you may even have the ability to move your shoulders right round in this position. I haven't. And then drawing up, you can either use your hands behind you to really pull you up, or use your hands in front of you if it's easier. Coming back up from humble warrior, turning forwards, and then taking a roll down to the mat to finish here. Okay, as usual, I've had too many stick men on this thing, but never mind. We'll have to do the yin yoga bits next week. Okay, so coming down to the mat, let's just go down onto our backs and forget all those other stick men that are telling me to do things. Okay, so when you find your spine back on your mat, legs can again come in. Let's take our legs into our chest just one more time and go back to that rolling action that we did at the beginning. So just rolling through the back of the body, just slowly massaging across the shoulders, across the hips, across the lower back. Don't need to go fast, just slow it down. See how far you can go to. Where's your tipping point? Just relaxing all those muscles that have been working on the back of the body. And then take the feet down to the floor one at a time. Bring your feet out again into Shavasana. Turn your shoulders, tuck them under. Okay, so returning to the breath again. You don't need to control it, just watch it, watch your breath. Closing your eyes, drawing your senses inwards. So pratyahara is the withdrawal of our senses. So that's that's the next one up from the breath and the 8 limbs. So you withdraw your senses by closing your eyes, focusing inwards in yoga, thinking of what's happening inside you. So let's just focus on our center. So find the center of your forehead. Might be in the front of your head, or you might even can go deeper inside your head and find the center of that area. And then find the center of your throat. So again, see how deep you can draw inwards. See how deeply you can focus inside that area. And find the center point of your throat. And find the center point of your heart. So in your chest, draw inwards. See where you can get to find that center point between your front ribs, back ribs, and side ribs. And then move down just above your belly button is your solar plexus. So see if you can find that central point. So see if you can deepen from about an inch or so above your belly button. Draw inwards with your mental eye. Draw inwards and find the center in there. You might find a lot of pulsation in there at the moment. If you're slightly out of breath like me, you might find you can feel twitching muscles and things going on in that active part of your body. And then go down to the middle of your abdomen and find the center of that. So not just the front of your belly, draw inwards, find the spot between your lower back and the front of your belly. And then going about 3 inches lower, find the center point in that. This is where your root chakra is. So to find that, one way to do it is to draw up through your pelvic floor. So if you draw your pelvic floor in here and find the top of that feeling, that is the center point there. That is your root chakra. So we've just gone down through the center of you in the line of the chakras from the Anya chakra at your forehead down to your root chakra, Muladhara chakra. So all of this centering on you that you've just done is another step in meditation, towards meditation. Dharana, the concentration you've put into that. You've withdrawn the senses, pratyahara, dharana. The next stage would be meditation. But yoga is a meditation. What you've done should make you feel as if you've taken yourself away a little bit from the world. And just for 10 minutes, I focused on yourself and really thought about what you were doing. Okay, so just to finish, let's go back to the breath. And let's take 3 breaths with a little mantra saying, I rest, I reset. So inhaling with the words, I rest in your head or out loud if you want. Exhaling, I reset. Maybe you can elongate the exhale in the next one. I rest, I reset, really elongating the exhale, resetting. Then take another breath with that little mantra. And really think about the reset. Elongate it as much as you can. And then let go of the breath. Come back to the world outside by just gently flickering your eyes open, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, maybe having a stretch if you need to, switching the systems back on again, listening to the birds outside the window, attach yourself to what's going on out there, roll over gently to one side when you're ready. Take a moment before you come up to seating rather than head rushing it. Take your time coming up, coming back to finish in cross legs when you're ready. Hands at heart centre. So a little bit of everything, a little bit of a whistle-stop tour there this morning. But hopefully you should feel you've done something. Hopefully you feel lifted, if nothing else, just through your spine, a little bit taller, a little bit more open, ready to go out there and face that old world again. Thank you everybody for your practice. Thank you for coming back to the mat with me, and see you on Thursday this week. Hopefully a few more of us back then. Namaste.